So, the reboot of Thief has finally released, and well, let's just say that the game has been a bit of a disappointment for those expecting a triumphant return of the granddaddy of first-person stealth games. But let's not dwell on Thief. Instead, let's take a look at some of the shining jewels in the stealth genre. This week's top 5 list will cover my personal favorite stealth games. Also, I know I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to anyway. As the title of this series implies, the games on this list are only games I have played a substantial amount of. I can't include games I haven't played, so sorry Thief Deadly Shadows, you're gonna have to stay in the dark. Number 5. Mark of the Ninja. Mark of the Ninja is bursting at the seams with innovative ideas that not only set the bar for 2D stealth games, but raise the bar for 3D stealth games as well. While most stealth games leave you guessing as to whether or not something you do will cause an enemy to hear or see you, Mark of the Ninja gives you all of the information you need via on-screen cues. The result is a fair but still challenging stealth game with great level design, an awesome art style, and a great upgrade system that allows you to tailor the game to your playstyle. Number 4. Dishonored. Superpowered stealth. That's Dishonored in a nutshell. Dishonored allowed players to carve out their own unconventional path through a level with the use of a short-range teleport called Blink, and provide a level of freedom that's unparalleled in any other stealth game. And the great thing about Dishonored is that even if you were spotted, you still had options that were still fun. You could try to outmaneuver your enemies by blinking on top of buildings, you could fight your enemies with a satisfying but appropriately challenging combat system, or you could use non-lethal means to neutralize your enemies without endangering your no-kills run. Dishonored may not have been the best game for the hardcore stealth enthusiast, but its flexibility in its gameplay makes it the perfect entry point for newcomers to the genre to break in. Number 3. Deus Ex: Human Revolution. As you can probably tell, I'm a big fan of stealth games that give you a multitude of options of how you approach a given scenario, and that's one thing that Deus Ex: Human Revolution excelled at tremendously. Chances are, if you're having trouble sneaking through a portion of the game, if you spend a little time examining your environment, you'll find another path that will make things much easier on you. Plus, the game just had an abundance of great ideas that pushed the stealth genre forward. The mechanic of switching to a third-person perspective when in cover, being able to move quickly from cover to cover without breaking stealth, and the upgrade system that let you decide what special abilities you want to prioritize, it all made for an amazing stealth game and a worthy successor to the Deus Ex name. Number 2. Metal Gear Solid 3. Metal Gear Solid 3 is quite easily in my personal top 5 games of all time. Its story still resonates with me to this very day. But this is a list about stealth games, and as such, I must value stealth gameplay over story, which is why it sits here at number 2 instead of number 1. That being said, MGS3's gameplay is still fantastic and such a breath of fresh air when compared to other games in the genre at the time. Where other stealth games took place primarily in closed corridors, MGS3 took the risk of having a large chunk of the game take place in the open wilderness, with the only cover being tall grass, logs, and trees. Where other stealth games featured high-tech gadgetry and tools to make stealth easier, MGS3 took away the radar and increased the tension exponentially. MGS3 took a lot of risks in its design, and they all paid off. Number 1. Splinter Cell: Chaos Theory. I've made a self-imposed restriction to only include the best game from each series, and in terms of true stealth gameplay, Chaos Theory is the perfection of the formula that Ubisoft Montreal started with the original Splinter Cell. Expertly crafted levels, the best balance of stealth and action of the entire series, and just the right amount of challenge. And that's just talking about the single player campaign. Chaos Theory also has some of the best stealth focused multiplayer modes as well, featuring the best versions of Spies vs. Merc and co-op of all of the Splinter Cell games. Conviction and Blacklist are great games in their own right, but it's hard to call them stealth games when comparing them to the stealth gameplay perfection that is Chaos Theory. And that's my list for the top 5 stealth games of all time. Agree? Disagree? Let me know how wrong or right I am in the comments, and drop some suggestions while you're at it of future top 5 lists that you'd like to see. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.